Now it worked. Let's jump into some charts, huh? Everybody's here for some market analysis. All my free people, welcome. All my new people, welcome. I'm glad everybody's here with me. Let's talk about what I expect the market to do. I mean, it's basically done exactly what I thought it was going to do all of 2022 so far. Right now, we're staring down the barrel of a higher low on the S&P 500. Now, if this gets a lower low, we reset the count one more time, and we need a higher low before we can turn bullish. So we're right at the tipping point. We've only got a little bit of space left before a lower low. If this thing turns around and starts going bullish, though, we could be looking at an all-time high by the summertime. All right. I'm very excited right now because this is a potential. We've either made the bottom and we're starting to confirm a bullish trend, or we're about to make the bottom and then the bullish trend is just a couple weeks away. Either way, this is like exciting times right here. Do I feel like we're going down and gonna, have the biggest crash ever? No, I don't. I've been looking for this correction for a couple of months now. If you've been with me, no, it's not going to have an effect. That's the thing. I don't think it's going to have the effect at all. If once we get started, we're going to go on this epic run. Now, Russia and Ukraine could resolve itself any day, and we just take off. Like, it seems really bad right now, but let me tell you, all the years I've been trading, I've been trading since I was in third grade, and I don't have much hair left up here. I'm not the youngest dude. I am younger than a lot of people that trade, but I've been at this game for over 20 years. When things look really, really bad and everybody's really, really bearish, the market tends to turn before things even start looking awesome, way before, and take off. I mean, even during COVID, things were like really, really bad. We all thought the market was was dropping out, and then it turned on a dime and started going. So I'm looking for this to go bullish right here. This is the decision point right here. I've had this oval target down here. If we touch it, that's probably the bottom. We may make one lower low. It could push all the way down into the low 4,000 area here. Still be completely valid, fine. No big thing. Been looking for this to happen. But this move right here, where the first move down and this second move down are equal, happens right down here at 40.23-ish area. Now, this could have been the bottom. I wasn't so sure. I made this chart a couple weeks ago when we did that, back on the 24th of February, and put a question mark. Was that the bottom? I still had this ideal target hanging out here. Now, it's taken another week and almost 2 weeks. And we're sitting here about to test it. Test the theory. Was this the bottom, or is this going to be the bottom? So it's going to feel bad, but that's the best time to be preparing for a bullish move. Now, all the way back in July and August, I was talking about this $100 to $150 oil. And everybody was like, yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I was looking at this chart way back here in July and August, this pullback we had, and I was projecting we'd see $100 oil. Well, now here we are. For a few months now, I've been talking about $5 and $6 a gallon gas that we were likely to see before Ukraine and Russia was even like a big thing. Well, we're staring down that too. So hopefully you've heeded my advice if you've been here with me. And if you're brand new, I call some epic stuff, and things I say tend to come true. And I don't know why necessarily. I don't base it on fundamentals. I don't base it on news. I base it on chart patterns, the stuff I see in the charts, and it comes true. So I use Elliott wave analysis. That's a basis of a lot of what I do. And that is heavily based on Fibonacci. So these crazy lines you see on here, it's a lot of Fibonacci lines. Now we've probably got a resistance right here that's going to hold on oil. Looks like it's holding so far right here around this 130, 133 area. So we've got a confluence right there. that looks like it could be the top. And we could spend a few days here consolidating before it tried to go a little higher. But this also could be the top, and we could see a pullback all the way back into the 90s. And really, the charts are going to be happiest if we see a pullback all the way into the 70s. Now, that could take the rest of the year. So I just want to throw that out there that we could be approaching the top. Now, there does still exist that possibility we could see $150 spike, this crazy spike right here. If we do see 150, I'm probably going to be adding some more shorts. Last week I added some shorts on this crazy pop. Right now they're underwater. I sized it so that thing could go to zero. I'm out to April, so I've still got quite a bit of time for this thing to finish up and start dropping. So just throwing that out there. The Brent chart we pulled up last week, it has gone a little crazy today. Saw almost $140 oil over there in Europe. So that's a crazy candle right there on Brent. Now, Brent and CL, which is light crude for the US, a little bit different pricing. But as you can see, at the end of the day, they came back to be almost in parity with each other. All right. Now, one of the things that was requested on the beginning, they're WS WS 2811s. They run on got a little bitty computer sitting here running, controlling those. So I can change it out if it's too distracting. We can go for a different pattern if we need to. We can do something different. Turn down the brightness. Yeah, they have a little voltage problem going on. That's why they flash occasionally. So anyway, yeah, it's just something fun for the studio. I actually traded in my other office. All right, back on subject here. Gold. So we talked about gold for a while now. Back here, it was not looking so hot. Then all of a sudden, we started meeting some upside targets. We broke through that 1880 area, and then we broke through the 1930 area, and then we found a little resistance right here at this prior high from back in January a year ago. Found a little resistance, bounced back down, and then we came up fast and furious today. So just shy of an all-time high on gold, which, this is gold, the futures and metal. Now popping over to the trade that we talked about a few weeks ago, GOLD, which is Barrick Mining Company. This thing has launched off. I hope everybody got into it with those $23 calls that I was talking about. We're already at 25. I'm looking for a move up here to this 31 area. If we can break above it, then we're likely to see this $36 price target. Now, I have January 2023 calls. That's the ones we talked about a few weeks ago. If you weren't here, go check out YouTube, jeffreytrader.com/YouTube. All the recordings are on there. I think it was 3 weeks back. We talked about this trade. So this thing right here, it's still got lots of room to go. And we can see this second target up here, which is hanging out at just shy of $45. So if we really get going, even if all the stuff in Europe gets resolved, whatever, this thing can really get going and take off. This thing is lagging the actual price of gold right now. So it has plenty of room to catch up. Because see, we were all-time high on right back here, all the way back in August of 2020. And we've been on this downtrend. We bottomed out right here around December that we just passed. We've been on this move here, breaking above this prior high we had from last early summer, late spring, early summer. Breaking above today, it sets us up. This is like this starting to become 80% likely that we see this move up to 36. So I'm still really excited on GOLD, Barrick Gold. And that's what I'm thinking right now. All right. Any questions on that before we move on? All right. So we got oil covered. We've got gold covered. We talked about ES, which is the S&P 500. Let's talk about tech. Now I'm going to pull up the futures chart. If you're not familiar with futures, NQ, 1 exclamation point on TradingView. We'll pull this up. If you're in a platform, usually it's a /NQ. We'll bring up NASDAQ. This is the futures for NASDAQ. And we've got this higher low situation, just like on S&P 500. Now, this thing can push just a bit lower also, just like S&P, but we're set up almost identical with the setup for this thing to take off. I'm watching very closely. Do we get a lower low than right there? Or do we keep the higher low and take off? So that's the things to watch right here. Now, how far down could we go? We could see 12,800. And if things got really a little crazy, we could see it go a bit deeper. Let's run a fib line off of the high. Lots of fibs on this chart because lots of stuff's been going on here. Yeah, we can see it move down in this area right here. If we're going to go lower low, this 12,600 to 12,800 is probably the most likely spot to find support. So we're not looking at a huge, big old drop from here. So, question, what if you were going to look at gold now? What would I look at? Well, that's kind of hard to say. I'm not looking for another entry in gold, GOLD, that is Barrick Mining. Let's pop back over and talk about it briefly, since there's the question in the chat. Now, what would I want to see? I would want to see something like this happen again. Like these moves straight up, that's a risky proposition to get into. Especially we had this little bit of rejection here, you know, actually pushing through the prior high. We closed right at it from back here in May, closed right on it. So a move up through there, you could go long on that. That'd be kind of at this point, it's kind of an aggressive entry, a conservative entry, but your risk is kind of high. You know, conservative as in it confirms all these entries we did earlier. But I'd probably look for something maybe 28-ish, and I'd be looking out in time. And if we got a pullback that held in a similar fashion to one of these prior pullbacks right here, this is Echo Trade style. If we got a pullback that came down to 24 and held and then started up again, that would be much more ideal and make me feel a lot better if I was going to look for an entry. Now, I'm still out to January 2023 in mind. If you wanted to get in now, I think the January 2024s are now out there, and that might be a good spot to be if you're looking for a long-term trade. I'm looking for this to continue well on into late this year before we find a top. So this is going to take a while. This correction over here took us from August of 2020 all the way till December of 2021. That's 12, 13, 14, 15, like 16 months. So this next move could take us at least 16 months, if not 32 months, before we exhaust this next leg up, this next part of the trend. All right. So this right here, I got long back in 2018 down in here. I rode this up and paid off my airplane in 2019 that I have. So GOLD has been good to me. All right. So that's what I have to say about that one right now. If you're in Discord, we can talk about it some more too. So, oh, sure. What's the short oil trade? I am in SCO. I bought some $8 calls out in April. They're just a little bit underwater because they weren't very expensive at the time. They were out of the money when I bought them. They're still out of the money, and they haven't lost a ton of value. You probably go down to $7 or $6 now when oil, as long as this thing stays liquid over here. You know, we did have a reverse split back here in May, 4 for 1. As long as this thing stays solvent, doesn't liquidate, when oil finally does pull back, we could see a nice little rip out of this thing and get back into the 20s very quickly. So this is not one I would throw a lot of money at, just a few bucks. It's kind of more of a lotto ticket type trade. Why SCO? Because it's priced down in the single digits, whereas the counterpart is UCO, and we've been trading this one too. and now it's sitting around 200 right now. So the calls on this one, or puts, if you're trying to trade it short, are going to be insanely expensive compared to the number of calls you could buy on SCO. These are leveraged oil ETFs, both of these. So be careful. They're not long-term trades. They're for making leverage profits off of quick moves in oil. All right. A 205, look at 206 maybe. All right. All right, moving on. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Let's zoom this up a little bit. Wrong way. Now, Bitcoin made a bottom back here in January. It made a higher low here in February. It made a higher low just this week. It's not participating with the rest of the market. It kind of decoupled from tech. It was following right along with tech, but then it decoupled somewhere along the way. We've got a setup of what's looked at as a 1, 2, 1, 2 type setup. Now, the proportions on this set it up where we can see a move up. Wave 1 and wave 3. Wave, this being a 1, 2, and the wave 3 will put us up here at the 1618 around 58,000. Now this next 1, 2, 1, 2, and this 3 puts us up right in that same area. So we've got some confluence of a potential wave 3 popping up in here, which means that the 4 or 5 could extend and we could see an all-time high in Bitcoin. And this gets me pretty excited. I'm not like leveraging up or anything. We talked about a trade on BITO, which is the Bitcoin futures ETF, a few weeks back during a free webinar I did. I don't know that it was a Tuesday webinar, but that BITO, you could use this. It has the same sort of setup. You don't have to go into the crypto market. You could just buy some calls on this one. I would definitely look out to June at the minimum, maybe even late summer or January 2023. If I was going to do this right now, somewhere around this 26, 27, $28 would be a good place to be, because I see this moving up like this. We can see a 36 very quickly. And then if we broke out to a new all-time high, we're looking at 44, and the extension would be 54. So if you're interested in trading Bitcoin, don't want to get out of the stock market, just want to use your regular old account, BITO, this thing could take off. We're looking at this consolidation right now. This thing could go any day now. Now, it also has the risk to break down and fail, but right now, this is retraced at the 61.8% retrace, held for 3 days now. Something that gets back up into 40,000 is going to kick this thing off, and we could see this kind of move. All right. Now you can look at the volume on BITO yourself. I do hold a few calls on BITO. Now, Ethereum also has a very similar setup going right now. It has pulled back to the 786 though, a little bit deeper yesterday, but today popping right back up above right up to the 618. So I'm not as big a fan of that deeper pullback, but it's still going to pop. If crypto goes, our two big dogs, the two fangs of crypto, Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're going to take off. So that's something to keep an eye on. Now this does have a trend of lower highs, which is, I'm a little bit cautious on that steep lower high angle right there. Oh, excuse me. Whereas Bitcoin pretty much kind of made highs that were almost equal. The tails were a little bit higher over here, but this last pop up there was right in the ballpark, right in that resistance box. So this next move up could be pretty good. All right. I am I putting serious money in Mora? I have serious money in Mora. I have almost $250,000 tied up in MARA right now. So that's how I'm rolling. Now Mora right here, my long-term chart. This is a 3-day chart. Looking for prices moving on up here in the $200 range. And this is gonna be out in time. I mean, we're talking maybe late summer, maybe even late this year, November, December. So that's where we are on Mora. Riot right here has a little bit different shape. It's not, Mora is in a 1-2-1-2 type setup, whereas Riot is in a 3-4 type setup. It's been consolidating, slowly drifting off for a long time. It can hold that 4 even as it goes lower. The 5 up here is still at some lofty targets, 1 to 300. So it's in a different place though. It needs to get a 1-2 setup going. It's got to get a 1-2, a nice healthy 1-2 going to be able to start this 5 on Riot. All right. Mora does have something like, I think they had 30,000 Bitcoin miners that have been delivered out of their 199,000 that they've ordered. So it definitely sets them up to accumulate Bitcoin at a rate faster than other players. All right. Well, thanks, Rick. Yeah, that's I have had breakfast with the bishop many times. All right. So that's Bitcoin and Ethereum in a nutshell. And I looked at Mora and Riot. Are there any last minute requests here before we wrap up our 30 minutes? Awesome. We have a few minutes left. What you got? Hut. Yeah, we can look at Hut. I don't have a long-term chart on Hut right now, but Hut does have the same higher low 1-2 setup going on. We have this same 1-2 on a smaller scale. This thing right here, if the next move we're looking at possibly taking shape, we put it back up into this 12 area. I am holding shares, selling calls, looking for a move back up in this $12, $13 range on Hut. So if you were to pick up some shares right now, protect yourself, we could see a double plus on Hut. All right. What else we got here? Let's see. VLO target 2. That's a Dickens. You can ask that in Discord. We'll talk about VLO there. All right. I see CVX a couple times from a few different people. So let's pull that up. Chevron, definitely poking out way past target 1, target 2, target 3, target 4, pushing on out. The next resistance probably up here at 214, but it may run out of gas and get a healthy retrace back into this 128 level. So watch out for failure, but right now it's on a path that could see it up to 214. This next resistance, put the arrow on here, could see us up to 214 area. That's the next one I got. All right. PYPL. Yeah, I like that one because I've been looking for an $85 target. We just keep getting closer and closer to it. I predicted a target, gosh, months ago, back in December, maybe longer than that. Where did I draw that box? That's probably October timeframe. I drew that box. Been looking for this move to 85. I think we're going to find support right around that 84, 85 price target right there. If it holds there, we're going to see something bullish. If it doesn't, the next layer, next level down, next stair step down is going to be somewhere around this $59, $60 price area. So that's what to watch right there for PayPal. Somewhere around 85, 86. If we can't hold it, then down to 59. I keep talking to Rob Booker about that one. He's ready for 85 so he can load up the boat. All righty. Am I a fan of trading Apple? I mean, it comes and goes. I'm holding some Apple shares. I bought it at $147. So space. I can look up that one real SPCE. Yeah, that doesn't look so hot. Looks like continued lower. That's a downtrend. Where she stops, nobody knows. Retesting the lows from back here. It's about to approach that level. If it holds above there, that can be bullish. If it doesn't hold above there, we could see, numbers on down. And I don't have a bottom. I mean, there's nothing out here that says where the bottom could be. So that's a tough one right there. I'd look for the prior low from back in 2019 to hold. If it doesn't hold, it's not a good one to be messing with. So, all right. See lots of stuff, but I don't have time for that tonight. I'm sorry. So I can pull up one more. NOC is the one I see right now. 499 would be the next target up there. It's getting awful close. So that's what I got. 499 will be the next resistance. And if it just pops right on through, we'd be looking for 528. Alrighty. Let's pop back over. I appreciate everybody joining me tonight. Let's talk about a couple of things. I know it was a tough day in the markets today. Chopping up. Yesterday was a brutal day in the markets, right? But not for members of my Echo Trade service, my flagship service. The first thing I launched a year ago, we closed a big win on VLO. And somebody was asking about it there in the chat. So here's the chart, right? We had an entry back here on February 24th, when everything was looking pretty bad. We had an entry, and then it dipped lower, and it was kind of like really close to the stop out level at 80. I mean, we briefly poked below it and then popped right back above, and then it started this awesome run today, popping up. I threw a conservative exit on it, 170% gain on the track record. Target 1 still hanging out up here at 96.50, and target 2 at about 150. And actually that bumps up to about 102 now. So a lot of the traders that closed out the conservative trade closed out 170% or more. Fernando over here, 264%. Suckbeer, 180%. Joseph, 185%. Paul up here, cashing out 2 different positions. One made 150, one made over 200%. And then Chuck down here, cashing out with just shy of $6,000 on this trade. And that was just the conservative target. Some of us, myself included, are still holding this thing, waiting for targets. And that makes the 3rd big triple-digit winner in a row for Echo Trades. We saw huge success with KO, which is Coca-Cola. And before that, we saw XME. My buddy Matt banging in with 100% gainer right here. I've been telling my Echo traders that I think a big run is coming as soon as this market turns around. And I'm talking big, like what kicked off in March 2020 type of big. And since it's been almost a year since I've launched Echo Trades, I've been encouraging everybody to renew. If you haven't renewed yet, you need to get on it. If you're brand new, never even heard of Echo Trades, we're offering a $200 discount today only. The deadline on it was Sunday, but since we had an awesome win today, I was opening it back up. And so this is a reminder for all my Echo Trade members. The deadline is tonight at 7:00, just because of our big win. And if you're not an Echo Trade member yet, well, as a special bonus for people who came to this webinar tonight, I've told my team to go ahead and share that discounted rate with you too. We've never offered an introductory discounted rate before for new members coming into the service, but today was an awesome day for us. And so I don't want anybody to miss out. Everybody can jump in right now, and that's just A-okay with me right now. So I don't want you to stress on how rare it is for me to give a discount like this. I'll make sure my team doesn't offer it to anyone who doesn't make contact before 7 p.m. tonight. So there's a deadline on this, about an hour and a half. We're talking about 7 p.m. Eastern. So if you want in, give my team a call at 855-454-0816. Or you can email David at WR Booker, have him call you back later. So this is a call-in thing. I don't have a link because this is just a special thing. We threw this together literally in the 10 minutes before I went live. That's why I kept having to mute out. I decided to change up what we were selling and offer this discount for everybody. So if you want to jump in for Echo Trades for a year at a $200 discount, 855-454-0816, or shoot David at WRBooker.com. That's my sales guy. He leads an awesome team of salespeople who'll make you feel right at home. All right. Let me throw the, right now, 1 year is $797 with the discount. Regular price, $1,000. $997 is the regular price. Yeah, so Bethany right there, highly recommending Echo Trades. Let's grab your thing and share it here. Let's see, snipping tool's not working. All right. Let's see, here's, let me see, pull this over to the right screen. Come on, come on. There we go. Bethany right there. Let's see. Got a zoom tool on here. No. All right. And Bethany's already made many times the subscription price. So that's really cool. I don't have a link. Let's see, 855-454-0816. Right there. I sent it to myself. That was genius. Try to send it to everybody this time. There we go. Pop that out or give David at WRBooker.com an email. All right. Please post any new recommendations. I didn't recommend anything today. There we go. There's the right app. We're just kind of reviewing what we already talked about in the past couple of weeks. So, all right, what else can I answer? I am offering that $200 off on a lifetime. The lifetime is, I don't know how much. I didn't price it. So if you want to jump in for lifetime, it's a heck of a deal. I think it's a steal. I think it's underpriced. But I don't even know the price. I think it's somewhere right around $2,000. I'll take that $200 off of that 10% discount. Any more questions? Still got a huge crowd here. Glad to see everybody tonight. All right, you want, I'll throw something out here for free. Here we go. Here's one for free. Let me jump out. I just did this one in the Knoxville Trade Club as a bonus trade. Let me get it right. There we go. SunPower. This one right here. I bought shares, sold a $23 call for April, a net cost of $19.31. Make 19% gain in 37 days. Looking for SunPower to continue up here to north of 23. Not a big ask. It's been hanging out here a little bit below that for a while. This is a bonus trade for Knoxville Trade Club. If you're not familiar with the covered call, don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. Don't try it. But this was the bonus trade in April. $23 call, sold against shares. Looking for SunPower to continue this trend up through 23. Like I said, it's a $37 trade, looking for a 19% gain. Since 120 of you hung around after the pitch, there's a trade. There's a bonus trade. That's awesome, Penny. Yeah, the SunPower trade was posted in the Knoxville Trade Club chat. So let's see. Missed that one. Penny, that is awesome. Glad to hear that right there. Super awesome. All right. Anybody got anything else? Any thoughts on silver? Well, we can look at that real briefly. Y'all ought to give this Echo Trade thing a chance, because right now we're looking at a awesome setup coming. So we are hitting this 786 level right here of this drop. Now we did have a higher move, higher high from back here to contend with. And that puts the 618 right there where we are. Getting above here can take us back up to 28. Breaking above 28 sets it up to go to 30. Not nearly as aggressive as gold. I've been watching this. It's been in a downtrend. It broke out finally. Broke right out solidly in the last 2 days, 3 days. So it's struggling to catch up. It's been having a hard time getting out of this resistance right here. Today is the first day it really solidly broke higher. Closing back below the 618, not exactly the most bullish. If this thing starts on a trip down, highly likely to see a lower low. So that's something to watch out for. Needs to really get above this $25 area. No, there's no wavy tunnel software on here. I do know wavy tunnel stuff, and I have it running on my Motive Wave platform. I do use Elliott wave methods and wavy tunnel to confirm some stuff I see, but it's not primarily how I trade. I've kind of developed my own system out of a few different things. All right, I'm going to wrap it up here tonight. Remember,